Welcome to the Live Wealthy Podcast with Dawn, where we are growing our wealth and our worth at the same time. You ready? Let's go. Well, hello, Amberly Lago. I'm excited, obviously, for you to be here with me today on the Live Wealthy Podcast. I mean, Amberly and I go back a long time. Like, we're talking maybe 5 months.
Yeah.
Right?
But
5
you know
months?
what? It feels like when I met you that we were long lost friends, that we've just been friends for life. So
Exactly. And you know why that is? I know why. And I was thinking about it this morning as I'm putting on my makeup, getting ready to record this podcast with you. It's because you are authentic and real. And when I saw you, even though I wasn't really talking to you, I was observing you talking to other people. I'm like, that's a woman that is authentic. And I believed that what I saw in front of everyone was the same girl that I would see behind the scenes.
well,
And
thank
yeah,
you. Thank
right?
you. Well, yeah, thank you. Sometimes I get in trouble because I do keep it real and I think, oh gosh, maybe I said too much. But you know what? I like it when people give it to me straight. Like,
Mhm.
I just tell me. I like when like that's one of the things that I really love about my husband is I know he is always going to keep it real with me.
So authentic, real, raw. I knew that we had to connect. And like, you don't have to be friends forever. And that's why I was making the joke about it, because if you have like, for me, what I do in front of the camera, I do the same thing behind the scenes. Like, I'm not a different person. And I saw that in you, Amberly. And so I was honored to connect with you again, to have some real authentic conversations around you and your journey and everything that you represent and how that relates back to money. And so I as a lovely introduction, Amberly, which is a beautiful name, Amberly Lago shows us how to find joy even in the most painful situations
Mhm.
that we find ourselves in life. And today our conversation is going to be real authentic and raw, but we're going to explore how resilience, how gratitude, how purpose, how her new book out this year, Joy Through the Journey, how this book can also help us underpin or support financial freedom, because it all comes back to how we react in life, how we have the right mindset, and how we respond to life's challenges. So for my audience that is lucky enough to listen to this conversation, Amberly, I just want to open it up and let's talk a little bit about your journey. I know you had a devastating accident. I know you've had, was it maybe 35 surgeries now? Because you just got out of a surgery. Like,
Yeah,
so many things.
35, but who's counting
Yeah.
now?
Well, with that many, you got to count. I'm a numbers person. So when you put that stat out there, it's like, oh my word. So talk to our audience here a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your journey so we can open up this beautiful conversation around resilience.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I just wanted to say that, yes, you are the same, like on the stage, behind the
Mhm,
mic
mhm.
and in person. And to everybody listening who I know are big fans of yours, every time I get to talk to you, I take notes because you just constantly are giving such wisdom. So it's my intention to give as many nuggets of gold that I've learned through life's ups and downs. And I mean, I know you talk about money so much, and I learned so much from you, even yesterday from our conversation. Um, that so I had a devastating motorcycle accident. I had worked so hard as a single mom to build this career, buy a house for my daughter and I. And then I met the man of my dreams and my business was booming. And I really was thinking, oh, wow, life is good. Life is like, yes, I felt comfortable. Like I felt great. And everything changed in a blink of an eye. I was coming home from work. I was on my Harley cruising down Ventura Boulevard, and I had an SUV shoot out of a parking lot and I got T-boned. So basically that means the car punched it out of a driveway trying to beat traffic in LA, hit me on the side. I tried to jump off my bike, so my leg took the whole impact. I was thrown 30 feet. And when I finally came to a stop, I looked down at my leg and it was completely crumbled into pieces. There was blood everywhere. I didn't know it at the time, but it was because my femoral artery was severed. My foot was dangling off, only held on by the skin. And by the way, they were able to reattach my foot. They put it on crooked though. Dawn, they put my foot on crooked. But hey, it's on my leg. But anyway, when I'm laying in the street, I was going, oh, one of the first thoughts I had was, oh, this can't be good. I might have to train clients on crutches for a while. I had a fitness business. I employed several other trainers. And my first thought was, how am I going to keep my business running? I was the sole, like the main breadwinner of the family. I had no idea how this was going to change the trajectory of my life. I was rushed to the hospital. They put me in induced coma because my vitals were, my organs were shutting down because I'd lost so much blood. I was in shock. They couldn't control my pain. So they put me in a coma. The first thing I learned when I woke up out of a coma over a week later was they said, we are so sorry. Your leg is like a war wound. There is nothing we can do for you. We're going to have to amputate. There's only a 1% chance that you would even be able to save your leg. And in that moment, I was like, 1% chance. So you're saying there's a chance. And I want to find a doctor who's willing to take that chance with me. And I had no idea just how hard that was going to be. I would have a surgery, a day of recovery, a surgery, a day of recovery. It was like torture. My leg was completely exposed, held together by these metal rods called a halo. After 34 surgeries, they were able to piece by piece put my leg back together. I recently, just a few weeks ago, had another surgery that did not go well at all. And it was like torture.
Oh.
Because I had a spinal cord stimulator implanted. I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome as a result of this accident. And so they've tried every kind of treatment. I've been such a guinea pig for all kinds of treatments, from ketamine infusions, which were $2,000 a pop, by the way. This was my second spinal cord stimulator that didn't work for me. Eastern, Western medicine. At one point, I was on 73 homeopathic pills and 11 different prescription medications, and nothing was working. And I had millions of dollars worth of medical expenses. We had $2.9 million worth of medical expenses. We had a lien on our house, and I had lost my career. And a lot of people would have thought, wow, she's lost it all. But I did not lose my faith. I didn't lose my mindset. And I didn't lose resilience, and I didn't lose joy. And that's something that we all have. And no matter what is going on in our life, through life's ups and downs, no matter if your circumstances have narrowed your possibility, there is always a way to tap into that resilience that comes from deep within you and the support around you, and to spark joy through your journey. And you can completely rebuild your life. And now we moved to Texas, and I was able to build another career, reinvent myself, heal, get through these surgeries, get through excruciating pain every day. And when we bought this house, I sat outside in the hammock and I just started crying tears of gratitude, because I was like, wow, look what you can do with purpose and determination and perseverance and grit, and giving yourself some grace along the way. So I know if I can do something like this, that anybody listening, if you are in fear or in doubt, or you're like ready to give up, or you're facing burnout, there is a way to get through it. And I know that you can do it. And I'm here to tell you, keep going and connect with your community. And I know your community loves you. I mean, everybody who meets you loves you. And so no wonder your podcast is so successful. And so dive into her podcast, dive into Dawn's content. I learned from you the Augusta rule yesterday, Dawn.
Yes. But Amberly, okay, we all learn from each other. And I haven't been on a podcast before where I'm literally tearing up. I
Oh,
knew of your story. I've read of your story, but how you just explained it, like, I don't think I would have had the resilience and the mindset shift to go from a 1% chance of walking again to $2.9 million of medical bills. I'm just tearing up. Like you have a gift that's beyond beyond how I can even comprehend that. Like I feel so like no wonder your audience loves you because the connection of the story literally just touched my heart. And I'm supposed to be interviewing you and now I'm kind of stuck in like,
oh.
oh my gosh. So let me ask you a couple of things. So what is it behind? And I don't even know if you can answer this and maybe you can like going through that is obviously this big gigantic story and then we have other people like most people haven't had that extreme type of devastation in their life, right? And those painful situations. So again, your message is like, yes, you guys can do it. Keep going, keep doing, learn and grow and like change your mindset and, have persistency and consistency and all of that kind of stuff. But if you look back at that story, like what is it inside you
Well,
that makes you keep going?
I have learned so much. I'm still learning and
Mhm.
I fall flat on my face. I mean, literally fall flat on my face. 2 weeks ago, after my surgery and after I had the spinal cord stimulator taken out, I mean, it was horrible. And even after it was taken out, I was really, really unsteady on my feet. And the next day, I want to be a good mom. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a good person and a better leader. And my daughter wanted me to take her to Target and she was going to drive. And I was like, I'm going to get up off the sofa and go to Target with her. I'm going to get out of the house. And got up, started walking, walked outside, and literally fell flat on my face. I mean, my hand is still swollen. I have a big, like now scar on my knee. It looks like it's going to be a scar. My glasses like smushed into my face. I had a big red cut on my nose. My glasses broke my glasses. But I get back up. And one thing, there was a time when I was in the hospital bed. I got out of the hospital and I had a hospital bed. We had it set up in our living room, which is so humbling to have to use a bedpan in the
Mhm.
middle of the living room and have a
Mhm.
hospital bed when I was
Mhm.
used to being like sponsored by Nike and doing fitness videos and being a leader of all these other trainers. And now I'm using a freaking bedpan in
Mhm.
the living room. And there was one morning I was so nauseated from the pain. I was in so much pain and I was just like, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through the pain? How am I going to start working again? And I heard this little voice and it still gets me emotional thinking about this time. My youngest daughter was 2 years old and all she said was mama. And in that moment, I thought, well, I know exactly how I'm going to get through this. I am going to be an example of resilience for my daughters. I am not going to be the victim of my circumstances. I'm going to show them what it's like to be the victor of your life. And so my daughters are my biggest inspiration, but the pain really got to me and I started isolating more and more and more. And I went from being super, super healthy to all of a sudden drinking to try to numb out the pain. And here's the thing I learned: pain demands to be heard. You can keep trying to stuff it down, and pain is pain. I mean, yeah, getting hit by an SUV, that's painful, but pain is pain. There's people that have pain because of their finances, pain because of the relationships, because of their own health issues, because of a failed business or failed whatever it is. Pain's pain and it demands to be heard, and you can try to stuff it down, but it will come up to the surface. And what I have learned is not about trying to just grit it out, because I was all about the grit. I was like, man, when you've got grit, there is no quit. But what I have learned is connection is the opposite of addiction. By the grace of God, I got sober. Connection is the opposite of I think failure, I think connection is the key to resilience. I think grit without connection is resistance. It is just feeling like clawing your way to the top. It's feeling like hitting roadblocks. It's feeling like burnout or you just want to quit. But grit with connection, that is where you truly find resilience. And so if I can have anything that you can take away from this talk with Dawn and I together today, is this like, don't do it alone. I tried to do it alone and it didn't work. And plus, when you can connect with another entrepreneur who is building a course and man, they are freaking out because nobody bought into it. Or you can talk to somebody and they're like, man, I don't know how to invest my money. Or you can talk to somebody who is a recovering alcoholic and they can say, me too, man, I did that too. Aren't you glad to be sober? It gives you hope. It gives you inspiration. That connection, I think, is the key to success. And so I think that deep within me, I have trained myself and still do because I'm not the most positive person. I have to work at it. And so the minute I have a negative thought creep up, I immediately flip the script and think of how I can shift it, but also in failures and setbacks. And even in this time when I could not get up off the sofa, I couldn't function. I couldn't move. I could not move. It was a big deal for me to take a breath. And I was scared to even take a deep breath because I felt like I was getting electrocuted from the inside out from this machine that was implanted in me, in my spine. And I just kept thinking to myself, you know what? God has a plan for this. There's a purpose for this, me going through this. And you know what? I actually like being humbled because it shows me that I can gain strength and I gain strength in God and I find joy in God. And I feel like you ask me like, what is it in you? It's my faith that I never lost. And I think when we go through hardships, if we get more connected, sometimes it brings us down to our knees, and that's the best place we can be because that's where we need to pray. When I pray and I'm on my knees, it reminds me how small I am and how big God is, and that God in my life is bigger than any problems that I might have.
Amen, sister. Like, you guys, connection. You want to be resilient in your life, whether you're having physical issues, mental issues, emotional issues, financial issues, life issues. It's all about that connection to your children, in your case, Amberly, right? The first thing that got you through was mama, and that connection that you had to be there for your daughters, and the connection to something more powerful than us. And it could not resonate more with me because it's the same. Like, I haven't experienced the devastation that you have. Like, right now, I'm flying to Dallas tomorrow. Like, I want to come find you and just hug you and
Oh,
like be with you because it is the connection. And that's what drives us all as human beings. And I haven't had that situation, but we all have stuff in our life that happens. Even yesterday, like I get stressful, right? And you have headaches and you have this and that. And the only thing that gets me through is trusting in something bigger than myself. You trust in God to support that. And then you have the resilience and the, what I would say, like the emotional regulation, because we are all emotional creatures. And like, how do you manage that emotion? Like in your situation, you numbed it with alcohol for a
mm,
while, right?
yeah.
And again, like I get that too, because my mom was an alcoholic. I'm addicted to work. I think we all have, some level of addiction. But that was a short-term band-aid that didn't work for you and what you found out. But when we can be addicted to connection, you guys, could be addicted to connection, especially when you're going through the shit storms in life, because we all go through them. Maybe not to the extent of Amberly, right? But listen to her message and apply that back to your own life and go, wow, how can I apply this resilience and being connected to something greater than myself, being connected more to my family and being present so we can get through this thing called life together? Because it is beautiful when you have that inner drive in yourself to be able to walk, to be able to financially get back on track. We all have financial issues, right? We all do. Like, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation with Amberly, because I'm sorry, but what we are behind the camera, what we are when when we're in our pajamas on the couch, like we were real human beings. And that's what attracted me to Amberly's message too. It's like, we're here to guide and teach real things because we all have issues, myself included. It's just how we respond to life. And when you get really good at responding appropriately and connecting, that builds that resilience time and time and time again. So there's so much correlation. Money, resilience, life, resilience. So I just, because this book is out and I want our audience to read this, because it is, I mean, when you get a book that allows you to have joy through the journey, it's not about the destination, you guys, which we all have heard, right? But it's about the joy through the shit storms in life. And it's all how we respond to those, right? And that's what this book talks about. And what really made me laugh is, let's just get a little funny before we wrap up, like the HALT, right? The exercises. I like this too, because it has you go through exercises, but let's be real.
Basic. It's basic stuff, but it's everything that I have done when life actually had gotten pretty good. I think I had this purpose and it got me through a lot, and then life got bigger and bigger. And then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Where's the joy?
Mm-hmm.
I've just been on Zoom for 16 hours straight. Like, my joy is fleeting. And I had to get back to basics. And so that's why I put some pretty basic things in there, but it's what I do every day.
Oh, but it's real. It's real. And we all can relate. HALT. Okay. How do we be resilient? Well, we don't be resilient when we're hungry. We can't be resilient when we're angry. We can't be resilient, obviously, when we're lonely, and we can't be resilient when we're dead ass tired, right? That's what HALT stands for. And I think we laugh about it, but it's so true. It's so true. And so like feed yourself, like get your sleep, do the basic needs of life, and then respond and connect when you're in a better mindset. And it's just basically taking care of those basic needs. But I love how you put it together in this book. So cool.
Well, thank you. And yeah, my family doesn't want to be around me if I haven't practiced HALT, And so yeah, I think when I'm irritable, or you know what, and being a dog mom yourself, you'll understand this. I know something is not quite right with me if I'm on a walk with my dog and I yell at my dog. My dog's being a dog. You know what I mean? It's like, what is wrong with me? If I am yelling at my cute little golden doodle who's just being a cute dog, something's not right. So I better halt and go, have I eaten? Why am I angry right now? What do I need to connect? Why am I lonely? Do I need to reach out to somebody? So I go through that because it's so important. And I talk a lot about self-care in the book, and I'm not talking about bubble baths and massages. Those are great.
Right.
But I'm talking about really creating a life that you don't want to escape from, and letting go of stop focusing on the outcome, but just focus on the process. Ask yourself when something comes up, instead of, what am I going to do? Why am I doing this? Why did I want to do the thing that I'm doing to begin with? And that will give you that motivation. And I've had people say, well, you talk about being in service and having a purpose. How could you even do that when you were stuck in the hospital bed and bedridden? And I was like, you know what? There is so much you could do to be of service. I was making phone calls from the hospital bed to other trainers, to clients, getting them set up with other trainers. I was still writing nutritional plans. And heck, I had the nurses come in my room, and when they found out I was a fitness trainer, they were asking me exercises on, hey girl, so how am I going to get a better booty? Show me, what do I do? Tell me what to do. And so when I got out of the hospital, I went back in just so I could see the nurses and give them exercises and thank them because, man, they took such good care of me. And so there's always something you can do to be of service and to give. And when you focus on your why, when you practice being in service and going and helping somebody else, it is a gift to yourself in return.
Mhm. Yeah. It's all about waking up, and we all hear it, and knowing this, but actually implementing it in your life. About the first thing you do when you open your eyes, it's about being grateful and
It
thankful.
is.
And when you do that, it sets the day no matter what happens. And that's what you're saying. Like, you can still be grateful and thankful and do some really good work while you're in the hospital bed. And as I wrap this up, I just want to say this, like, as a financial advisor that owns a wealth advisory firm that focuses on the technical aspects of wealth. Like, we all need the how to, right? Like, just like I asked Amberly, like, well, how do you be resilient, right? She said connection. Like, that's the biggest thing. And having this, what she just said, being grateful and thankful for where she was at, even in the hospital. And so I think about this is emotional intelligence and being able to, like, understand in life, the only thing that's certain is uncertainty. And whether you're financially struggling, physically, emotionally, mentally, like I said, all the things, know that uncertainty is going to be there. And we can be certain of the uncertainty in our life. But when you push through and have resilience, like Amberly did, then you're able to live this joy through
Aw.
your journey. And that is so important for all of our listeners to hear. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I just have to say, I'm so excited that you're doing events
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't wait to come to your
Yes.
event. And I want my husband to come too. I just want to see you again in person, but I really love learning from you.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to get to your event in Scottsdale. And
Woohoo!
I
Yes. Yes.
know.
Sunny Scottsdale. And we're going to be talking about all of the things. Like, it is. Amberly's message and my message is like, you need the how to, right? We need to understand the how to, but we also need to be emotionally connected to building I help people build a financial plan. Amberly's helping you build and respond appropriately to life. And when you have, to me, in my field of work, money's like oxygen to support the medical emergencies. Money helps us grow, and we want more of it so we can have opportunities and we can solve problems better. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more money, but when you respond appropriately to, like I said earlier, that the pitfalls in life, when you respond appropriately to that with your money, that's when life really gets good, really gets like next level. And so, Amberly, thank you for being authentic, real, raw. Like, girl, I could talk to you all freaking day.
I feel like that. I feel like we could do a girls' trip and we would just talk and brainstorm and come up with some magic
Amazing. Yes, magic.
ideas.
Yes, because it is so real and raw, and we all experience the same stuff on different levels. But what I love the most about this is we need connection. Amberly, I need you, and thank you.
I need you and thank you.
Mm,
And I'm just so excited to see you again. We will make that happen soon.
yes, we'll rock
And
it.
thank you so much for having me on.
I love you.
Love you.